This is a chart with respect to the name of the elements, symbol, atomic number and number of electrons, neutrons and protons, and distribution with respect to the electrons in their respective shell and the valency. So for your easy understanding, let me say here there are certain elements wherein hydrogen, H is the symbol. So your atomic number is 1. So number of protons also 1. So number of neutrons is nil here, 0. So number of electrons also will remain as 1. So here you can see that K shell, as I told, K shell should fill 2 electrons. So now hydrogen has only 1 electron, but we cannot help with it now. So valency is 1. So this can be filled by using another hydrogen atom. So there is a combination of one hydrogen and another hydrogen, they form as 2 electrons. So the first shell will fill and it becomes as again completion of the first K shell. But as of now you just need to know that valency remains 1. So next is helium. So helium symbol is He and your atomic number is 2. So here you need not worry about it. So your protons remain 2, neutrons remain 2 and again electrons also remains 2 and your first shell is filled. So as I told 2 electrons here, 2 electrons is filled, then what is your valency? You cannot write 2. You are filled in valency, you need to minus with the same number 2 minus 2, that is 0, because you are not having any space to add one more electron there. So it is 0, it is a noble gas. So you can see that noble gas, noble metals, noble non-metals are also present. Based on the symbols and classifications you can find out with respect to the periodic table. So I am repeating it again and again because your periodic table chart is a must with you when you are learning about the valencies. So next is lithium. So lithium you can see again it is 3. So you can practice the same chart with respect to drawing of the shells and electronic configurations. So here 3, you can see that number of protons also is 3. So number of neutrons is 4. So as of now you can see that neutrons is protons plus neutrons together it forms 4. So you can see number of electrons is 3 again. And what is in the K shell? First shell is 2, the next shell, the second shell is 1. So what is your valency now? The outermost valent shell is 1 and your valency is 1. Next we will see with the element beryllium. So beryllium is Be, symbol is Be, and you can see that atomic number 4. It goes in the series now, so you don't have any confusion. So number of protons is 4 and number of neutrons, it goes on increasing by 1 with respect to the neutrons. Electrons remain same, 4. And now you can say here K shells, you can see all here it's only 2. So without any doubt close your eyes and draw 2 electrons or for the first shell. The next shell onwards you can see that whether it is octet or not, 8 or 6 or 5 or 4 etc. So you can see here that it's again 2. So 2 remains same, so your valency is also 2. So next is boron. So boron you can see that B is the symbol, your atomic number is 5, proton is 5, again plus 1, neutron is 6. So electrons remains 5 here. So your first shell is 2, second shell is 3. So again your valency is outer shell becomes 3. So next is carbon. We have already discussed about carbon. So carbon symbol is C and atomic number 6. So here you can see that even the neutrons are equivalent. So neutrons are equivalent because here octet you can see that the outermost shell will have 4. So 4 valency means you can see that 4 valency you can write as it is, or 8 minus 4 again it is 4. So it is in a mid path or midway that either it can give its electrons or take its electrons from the other metals or non-metals or any sharing partner. So you can see that here your valency is 4. So Finally, the valency there 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So above that, don't even imagine that 5 valency is there. So let's understand how it is working next. So nitrogen remains as N. Next is atomic number 7. So again your protons, number of protons, neutrons remain same. All these are 7 again. So K shell is 2 and your L shell is 5. So now what happens is, you will not write your valency as 5. What will you do now? You will see that octet is 8 electrons to fill in. So it requires how many electrons to fill the octet is what you will write as a valence electron. So 8 minus 5 is 3. So it requires 3 electrons to form octet configuration. So 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 is the valency of nitrogen. So next coming to oxygen. Oxygen has a symbol O and atomic number is 8. You can see that number of protons, neutrons, electrons all remains 8 here. So what is your first shell remains same as 2, next is 6. So will you be writing 6 as the valence electron? No, you cannot write. I have told that 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 or 4 is the maximum valency you will be writing. So 6 is, now it's easier method that you need to minus or subtract 6 from 8. How much is remaining? So 2. It requires 2 more electrons to fill its octet or outermost shell, and it will always receive an electron rather than giving these 6 electrons. So which is easier, to receive 2 or give 6? So 6 is easier. So you can see that the remaining electron is 2. 2 is the valency. So next is fluorine. In the same way, F is the symbol, 9. Atomic number is 9. Protons 9. Again you can see there is increase in number of the neutrons here. So again electrons 9. So 2 comma 7 is the electronic configuration. So you will not write 7 here again. So what is the valence electron? So 8 minus 7. What is that? It is 1. Again you can see here. So it's very easy to understand. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then again it's reverse order. 3, 2, 1, 0. Then again 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see how it is working. So once it is increasing, decreasing order. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it is 0. Then you can see that 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. So wherever you go wrong, you can understand that if you write valency 5, 6, 7 or 8, you know that you are going somewhere wrong. So this is the way how you can write the valency. So you can do all these elements and practice at home. So this will be easy, that first 20 elements you practice first at home. Later on it will be easy for you to practice other elements. So next we can see about writing the chemical formulae. So now it will become easier for you to write the chemical formulae because it is with respect to the valency that you have found out previously. So how you are going to write the formulae now? It is very easy. Rule number 1. So as I told that you are going to cross multiply, as I told before that with respect to water. So you have hydrogen valency as 1, oxygen valency as 2. So what you are going to do is, you will not write HO2. So oxygen valency 2 will be cross multiplied with the hydrogen valency of 1. So what will happen here? Oxygen valency 2 will go to hydrogen, hydrogen valency will go to oxygen. So what is the formula now? It becomes H2O. So the same way here, cross multiply the valencies of elements to form a particular compound. So A and B you have taken, 2 different elements. They are going to combine together, but they are going to cross multiply their valency. Say A plus 2. Plus 2 means plus is always a metal. So B minus 3, it's minus, that is negative, it is an anion, it is always a non-metal. So A is cross multiplied, A valency is cross multiplied with B valency, what it happens here? This gets shuffled. So A3, so you will not write the charges again, you will just write the numbers in the down, that is subscript. So you can see that A3, B2. So you can see here that what it gives rise to? It gives rise to A3, B2. Rather than you will not write A2, B3 because you have cross multiplied it, and this particular valency you will write here A3 and A's valency will go to B. So it's so simple to write your chemical formula and form a chemical equation. So what is rule number 2 now? Let's understand rule number 2 with respect to the formulae. So if compound consists of a metal and a non-metal, if a compound consists of a metal and a non-metal, what will you be writing first? So first you will write metal, then you will go with the non-metal. So you can see here, for example, in calcium chloride. So you will be writing calcium as a metal, chlorine as a halogen. So it's a non-metal group. So Ca, Cl2. Ca is for calcium, Cl2 is chloride. But don't get confused here again. From where did this 2 come from? It is calcium's valency. And chlorine's valency is 1. So you are not representing here it as 1. And zinc sulfide. So now you don't have any confusion at all because both valencies are 1. So you will be writing it as zinc. Zinc is represented as Zn and sulfide is S. So Zn S. So metal followed by a non-metal. So calcium and zinc are metals here. As I told, the first one you can see calcium and zinc are metals. Then you will be writing about the non-metal. So they are written first, whereas chlorine and sulfur are non-metals. They are written after the metals. So let's understand what is rule number 3. So if a compound is formed with polyatomic ions. So polyatomic ions. So ions there are more than one, and then polyatomic ions are written in brackets. So polyatomic ions are written in brackets. So for example, aluminium sulfate. So aluminium sulfate. So you can see that SO4 is already there. Then you can see why it is written, because 3 atoms of sulfate is present. So polyatomic. Polyatomic means, see hydrogen, 3 hydrogens together, 3 oxygen together. So 3 calcium elements together. So it becomes polyatomic. So you can see that sulfate is 3 atoms together of sulfate. It is written as outside 3. You will not write it in the space of aluminium, because aluminium is only one, that is monoatomic. It's only having one atom. But you are going to just keep in your mind, sulfur and aluminium valencies only you will cross. So sulfur, aluminium, sulfates valency is 2, you have crossed with aluminium, and aluminium's is 1, you have crossed with sulfate. But sulfate is 3 atoms together. What you will do, you will put a bracket and write it outside this sulfate to represent it as polyatomic. So hope you have understood this. So SO4 2 minus, it is enclosed in a bracket before writing the subscript 3. Okay. So before writing subscript 3, you will be writing the valency of that particular atom. So bracket with subscript 3 indicates that 3 sulfate groups are present and 2 aluminium atoms. So here it becomes 2 aluminium. After you have crossed the valencies, you will have 2 aluminium atoms and you have 3 groups of sulfate. It's grouping. So next we will understand the word description and chemical equation. So now you have learnt about the valency. With the valency you have learnt how you will write the formula now, and how you are going to write the polyatomic or grouping the groups of particular elements, and also how you are going to take it up to the formula. So now you should understand how a word equation or word description is given, how will you make it into a chemical equation. So just one example, your calcium sulfide reacts with water. So what is calcium sulfide formula? It is CaS. So reacts with water. Water formula you know, it's H2O. So reacts with, where it forms reacts you will put a plus mark, addition. So water, what does it gives rise to? So always you should have in your mind there is a gas release. There either a gas or a water content should be released into the atmosphere. So what is going to release is you need to know. So it forms that calcium oxide, and it forms H2S, that is hydrogen sulfide. So you can see that calcium oxide is solid form and hydrogen sulfide is the gas released. So few more examples we will see now. If we have given as aluminium oxide, so how will you write it as aluminium oxide? So you need to find out the valency first, aluminium and oxygen. So aluminium's valency and oxygen's valency you will cross multiply and you have got the formula, that is Al2O3. So how will you write valencies of elements? Al3, group 3 of the periodic table. Oxygen is 2, that is group 6. So aluminium's valency is 3, oxygen's valency is 2, and you can see that common multiple valencies are 3 into 2 is 6. So you can see that 2 into 3 is 6 oxygen, 3 into 2 is also 6. So now you need to cross multiply and you have got your formula of aluminium oxide. So we will see another example. So this is for your more understanding. Let's understand, it's a symbol. K is for potassium, O is for oxygen. So what is valency of potassium? It's 1 and oxygen is 2. So now what will you do? So you will cross multiply or swap. So it becomes 2, 1, and you divide it by 2 and 1, that is by the smallest number. What is the smallest number here of the two valencies? It is 1. So if you divide it by 1, it remains the same. So what is your formula now? So it becomes K2O. So that's all about this video. We will see more about the mole concept in the next video. Thank you for watching.